welcome back to On the Silent Hill.
Nothing
Where there's nothing special here. So, Jamie is in the motel and we have to get a key to do more stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
That's pretty much it.
Oh, hey, vending machine.
And then begins the gauntlet that is the end of the game.
That's not just any vending machine, that's a cigarette vending machine.
That is what that looks like.
I have not seen those in easily 20 years.
No, that does date the game. Although it's not entirely clear when
when this is taking place.
Yeah, when the designers of the game intended for this game to take place, because a lot of the sources that they reference, movies and books and stuff like that, are a lot of 70s and 80s, horror.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing in the game that outright implies that it takes place anything other than contemporaneous to when the game is played.
Right.
But, it's got references to, Stephen King and Jacob's Ladder and, Kindergarten Cop, right? Stuff like that. Lots of 70s, 80s, and early 90s.
It feels like it's supposed to be taking place late 80s to me.
Yeah.
Either that or at the very least, the town that Harry is in is stuck in the late 80s.
Well, there's that too. It's supposed to be a small town, in a relatively rural part of Maine. So it's probably behind the times anyway.
Oh, hang on. I was in the middle of a yawn. This shit takes place in Maine?
Yes.
So we're following that Stephen King trope?
Yes, Silent Hill is a small town in Maine.
Yeah.
It is not in West Virginia.
What's in West Virginia?
That's where the movie Silent Hill takes place.
Oh, why did they do that?
Come on.
Because they based the movie version off of a city in Pennsylvania called Centralia that had it was a coal mining town, and there was a fire that started in the coal mine underground that could not be contained, and so literally smoke and ash from the fire comes up from under the ground, and the place had to be mostly abandoned. I think there's still a handful of people that live in there, but
people that are I refuse to leave.
Yeah, right. So the makers of the movie used that as their inspiration and actually wrote into the town's backstory that there's an underground coal fire, and that's where the fog comes from. And in the movie, the snow that's falling is
fuck yes. Now we are talking.
Is ash and not snow, but in the game, it's snow.
Because it's winter.
Well, it's not winter. Dr. Kaufman has a line earlier in the game when you first met him in the hospital about how it's snowing this time of year, implying that it's unseasonable weather.
Late spring, probably, or...
Yeah, and there's no way that the characters in this game are stupid enough to confuse snow with ash. One is wet and cold, and the other is hot and dry.
you would think, but it is these characters.
They're not stupid.
At the very least, they're questionable.
All right, so what's the key that Jamie just got? I think
she got a motorcycle key.
Yeah, it's a motorcycle key, right? So now she's got to find the motorcycle.
Where would there be a motorcycle?
And probably in a garage. She hasn't actually found... Has she found the motorcycle yet? I don't remember.
I don't think she has. I can't think of where...
If you remember how to zoom in, that'd be great.
X, I believe.
Did you say something?
X.
Ah.
Cross.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't do a particularly great job of labeling this map when you're here.
Motel. There's a parking lot.
Yeah, just as long as...
gone back this way.
Hey, there's a garage.
Just as long as she... No, that's not where she's supposed to go.
No?
If she crosses Sanford Street, she hits a point of no return and cannot come back.
Oh, well, did she do everything that she wanted to here?
She's got to find the motorcycle first.
Oh, so the motorcycle is not across there.
The motorcycle is not across the Sanford Street Bridge, no. So if she crosses that bridge, then she is
not getting the motorcycle.
She's not finding the motorcycle, and she's not getting access to certain... The motorcycle, I think, is here in the hotel somewhere. I think she's got there's a... Or, I don't know, maybe... Gosh, it's been so long, I don't remember where the motorcycle is.
Dig deep in that Silent Hill repertoire of memories.
I'm trying, but...
Where is that motorcycle? Where did they park next to?
I mean, was there a garage right there?
There is a
Yeah,
parking lot.
there's a garage right there.
Behind the motel.
Maybe try the garage.
That had...
Because it's indoors. I remember that. It's in like a room, so I think it's in a garage or something.
Do you want to give Jamie that hint at all, or no? Like let her try and.
I don't. Again, I don't remember for sure.
Music. Oh, hell no.
I always like Jamie's
really,
attempts
by the
at
way,
looking around.
Whoever invented that instrument that makes that fucking creepy ass shit sound.
Oh,
fuck
have you seen that?
From the bottom of my heart, fuck you.
There's like a horror
fuck.
instrument that they
Where
use
is
to
it?
make sounds in like horror games and movies and stuff like that, and it's like built to put you on edge.
With like the theremin? I mean,
it might be the theremin. I don't know if it has a name. It's like a really like jagged, crazy looking like multi-use instrument because there's like multiple different ways to make the noises on it.
It's not the theremin then. The theremin is like some kind of weird electronic ornament where you like wave a wand over a magnetic wand over like a sensor and it changes the pitch or something.
Why did the shit?
It might be like an offshoot of the theremin.
Jamie, the motorcycle that you're looking for might be in the garage at the motel.
Or somewhere around there.
Okay.
So
yeah, I don't remember exactly where it is, but I'm pretty sure it was in like a garage somewhere, like a small garage, not like a parking garage kind of thing, like over there, but like either a garage at the hotel or at Annie's bar or at the Indian Runner. I don't remember which.
That's what I'm looking. I'm between Annie's bar and
Yeah, so just keep exploring, look for it, and you'll find it.
Yeah, well, I'm also trying to not drag this out longer than it needs to be. So
yeah, I'll have to if you want to entertain people. I mean, I'll see if I can pull up that instrument.
I thought this was a parking
like,
lot for some reason.
If you have anything specific that you want to mention, or otherwise.
Geez, not really. Other than being curious where the hell this damn motorcycle was.
Right. If you were a motorcycle, where would you put you?
In a garage, probably.
We're just gonna go back this way real quick.
Yeah, I'd go back to the motel and look for a garage at the motel.
I am trying to go straight, but it is...
Just make sure you don't go across the bridge.
Okay, here, let me... Okay, this isn't going to start up a video, but it has the image of it here.
Go in here.
Which I am doing another flag.
Okay,
I will put it up now.
No, go in the door.
That is the instrument.
Okay.
So it's like
a percussion thing.
Not really necessarily yes, kind of like dragging along the instrument makes noises and like there is.
Voila! There we go.
Hey.
I'm also gonna inspect the shelves real quick because
there might be drugs here. Yeah, I'll play it for you between episodes, but it is a really fucking crazy sounding instrument. It sounds like the stuff of fucking nightmares and horror movies. It's pretty great. I want to find out what the fuck that instrument is actually called.
Well, you just had pictures of it, I'm sure.
I know. It's like, I don't know if it was like a custom thing for like a certain movie or something, or like something that someone just made, or if it's an actual like, they mass produce this thing for purposes.
Huh.
Hey, look, a piss bucket.
Yeah, next to a
Thought
sink.
I saw something.
Health drink. Okay. So there is a purpose to actually finding the motorcycle, like it affects something? Or...
Yeah, this influences which ending you get.
Really?
Yes.
Like something coming up is going to require her having the motorcycle then?
No. It's finding this.
Interesting. Is it the drugs?
Give me that. That's none of your business. Instead of messing with that, how about coming up with a way to get out of here? You shouldn't be hanging around here goofing off. What do you think you're doing?
Investigating.
Wanna get
We're
yourself
trying to
killed?
find out what's going on.
Get back to finding your damn kid.
Okay, take it easy.
And I'm gonna get back to doing whatever the hell it is that I do in between cutscenes.
Got it?
apparently getting raped by pterodactyls.
I don't even remember where the hell we met this douchebag.
Hospital.
He's the hospital director. You met him in the hospital. And then you found him again in the bar where he was getting raped by a pterodactyl. Or not a pterodactyl, it was one of the monkey things, right?
Yeah, I think it was one of the monkey things.
One of the monkey things. He I think, had killed a pterodactyl in the hospital, so there's like a dead pterodactyl on the floor. And then when you find him in the bar, he's getting molested by a monkey creature.
So I kind of missed a little bit what happened because I wasn't like looking at the screen. Jamie found a thing in the motorcycle?
So inside the gas canister of the motorcycle is a little red vial that the game tells you is similar to the smashed vial that you found in the hospital directors, the one that she had to scoop up with the plastic bottle, remember? Right. And then basically the Dr. Kaufman comes from wherever, I don't know where the hell he came from, just phases through the wall or whatever the hell people do in cutscenes in this game, and is like, give me that, mind your own damn business. And that's pretty much it.
And that affects the ending.
That affects the ending, yes.
He's secretly a crack fiend. That's my theory.
So that lets you use whatever that is and
no, you can still use it. It's just that now what's going to happen is because Kaufman has that vial, he's going to use it at a different part of the game. Oh. So you have the one that you have or Jamie has the one that she has in Harry's inventory, and she can use that.
Shit, that was close.
And then he has one that now he can use, and that creates, and that's the binary table.
So
the good ending, bad
right. So there's 4 endings.
Wasted that shot earlier on.
So Kaufman getting this vial basically means that now Jamie is going to get one of the 2 good endings.
Okay.
Now, whether or not she successfully uses hers will determine whether or not she gets the good-er ending or the good ending.
Yeah. So, we're on track for that.
And this is something that whenever I play the game I watch someone play the game, I'm always curious whether or not they figure it out.
So we'll see.
Right, and I want to try not to spoil it for her, but
we've already determined that given on her own, Jamie would have gotten the badder ending.
Right, well, because she was about to walk and trigger this, and this here is a point of no return. And this is the big hang-up for not getting the good endings, right? Is because both the red vial in the hospital and the vial stuck in the motorcycle are right before points of no return. Right, because if you remember, the hospital had the elevator where there's the fourth floor button shows up out of nowhere, and then here is you walk across this bridge and now you can't go back. She cannot.
This became infinitely more creepy.
And a lot of fans of Silent Hill do not consider the good plus ending to be canon.
Yes, I remember you mentioning
because they think that it's too hard. It's not possible for a player to put everything together and use all the stuff correctly. And I've long maintained that not only is it possible, but that ending should be treated as not necessarily the canon ending, but as just as canon as the 3 alternate endings in Silent Hill 2.
Well, it's kind of like I don't want to say multiverse theory, kind of like a split timeline kind of theory where it's like eventually one of the timelines Harry would have figured out to use this. And that's why you have multiple playthroughs, because the player would eventually figure out how to use this.
Well, that's just a video game construct. But there's also other items in the game that lead to other unlockable endings that don't even come available until a repeat playthrough.
Yeah, because I remember you mentioning the alien ending.
Right, and that's present in Silent Hill 2 as well. So if the designers had wanted the good plus ending to be a New Game Plus repeat playthrough ending only,
they would have.
Then they could have just made it so that you can't pick up that glass vial in the hospital.
But in the second playthrough,
until your second playthrough.
Yeah.
Right, you get an item like that. The bottle that she finds could just not be there in the first playthrough,
or it's smashed, and then in your repeat playthrough, it's not smashed or something like that.
So clearly, the designers intended for this to be a possibility, right?
Yeah, albeit a small possibility.
Yeah, it's not easy, and again, it's the really hard part is if
fuck you
is because of those 2 points of no return. right? If you're exploring and you miss it and you walk through those points of no return, you cannot go back, and you then cannot
Another one?
get the better endings. And that's, I think, going to be the biggest hang-up for most of the people who play this game on their first time, if they don't have like a walkthrough or somebody telling them, you know.
I think I kind of see what I think they did in the design of the points of no return, kind of just as a thing of like to make you feel like you missed something.
Right. Well, there's that, and also to reward players who do thoroughly explore an area, right? Because if you're just running through, you're going to hit those points of no return. You're not going to be able to go back. But if you're taking your time to explore the things as you get there, then you're going to be rewarded for doing so by being able to get a better ending.
Yeah. But I mean, like, saving constantly, it's like, oh, here's a point of no return. There's got to be something important here. Because every point of no return, there's something important to get, right?
Well, there's only the two of them in this game.
Yeah.
There's a few, like at the very beginning of the game, right? When you do the fake death, right? There's stuff like that. And then other places where, like, entering the other world, you can't go back either.
Fuck you! When
you go to the other world the first time.
Yeah, like in the school, you can't go back the way you came.
Fuck your couch.
So there's things like that where, like, doors lock behind you and stuff like that.
I'm just trying to think, was there anything important at that point in this game that, like, was possible to miss? Like, maybe a weapon or something even.
No, because even the shotgun, I think, is in the other world. So, I mean, you could miss, like, health packs and ammunition and stuff like that.
Easy, small stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, the first Silent Hill, actually, pretty much all the Silent Hill games are, the narrative is pretty linear. They branch at the very end, usually, is where all the branching happens. So it's not like you're going to miss large chunks of story or something like that if you're buzzing through the game. As long as you're stopping and watching the cutscenes, you're going to get
understand what's happening.
Well, you might not understand, but you'll at least be exposed to it.
I was going to say, I think it's at least arguable that not necessarily understand, but you're seeing it, you're observing it.
But I'm also a fairly strong advocate of the idea that another common fan theory for the games, and I think we've talked about this before, is that a lot of fans presume that there are multiple dimensions in Silent Hill, that the other world is another dimension that exists on top of our dimension.
Yes.
Like the popular recent example is the Upside Down in Stranger Things.
Right.
I am generally opposed to that interpretation, and this scene that we just passed where Harry walks across the bridge
and then suddenly
and it transforms, to me, like, that implies that no, she's not entering another. Sorry, I keep saying she because Jamie's playing when I should be saying he because the character is Harry.
It's however you decide to put it. Like, honestly.
But
when Harry transitions across the bridge,
so the bridge transforms. Right, and one of the points of the game is that the cult is trying to birth a god because they believe that this god is going to change the world into a paradise.
Yeah, reshape it into something.
So the game is setting up the idea that this god can change physical reality. Right, so to me it doesn't make sense to have there be parallel dimensions when you're talking about a magical being that should literally be able to reshape reality at will. And when in fact that is the entire point of the game's narrative, is that that's what the villains want to do. They want to turn the world into this because they think this is their god's paradise.
This is better. Chain link fence and barbed wire. And Jamie yelling, "Oh shit," because she saw a dog.
Mm-hmm. So yes, I am an advocate for the good plus ending, and I am an advocate for single dimension theory in Silent Hill.
Yeah, and I mean it makes sense.
And that's something that when we're done with the playthrough.
Want to ask Jamie?
Yeah,
I'm gonna. Feels about
it. I intend to talk to Jamie about it to be like, what,
we
what
can
did
go over
she?
That in, like, credits.
Right. Yeah. How did she feel about that? And a big part of it too is a lot of people play through the fan favorite is Silent Hill 2, and that's actually the game that a lot of fans play first. And Silent Hill 2 deals very heavily in the characters going through kind of like a personal hell, right? Something that's based on their psyche, that's pulled out of their nightmares.
And 2 is the one with Pyramid Head, right?
Yes. And so that lends itself a little bit more to to things being in parallel with one another, to different people being in the same place at the same time and seeing different things. I don't agree with that interpretation either. And if we, go on to play Silent Hill 2, I can talk about that.
The Lighthouse.
But because a lot of fans' favorite is Silent Hill 2, and because a lot of people play Silent Hill 2 and don't play the other games, that idea of the, parallel perceptions and parallel realities is more popular than it maybe would be if more fans played through all of the games. There's also a very, massive misconception in the Silent Hill, in large parts of the Silent Hill fan community, that like the games as a whole are about like characters dealing with repressed inner guilt and memories, and like that's just not true either. That again is Silent Hill 2. The rest of the games are about this cult trying to birth its god. Like there's nothing in this game about Harry having repressed memories or some, secret inner guilt.
Some inner problems where it's like, oh well, secretly he was beating his daughter or something and he feels bad about it, or
Right. And we find out in Silent Hill 3 that's definitely not the case.
Sorry for going so slow, folks,
but Silent Hill 2 is very much about characters dealing with their personal demons. And, fans have projected that, unjustly onto the rest of the series. And after Konami stopped developing these games internally and started outsourcing it to third-party developers, those developers
mainlining that.
Went very heavy-handed on that, where every Silent Hill game that came out after Silent Hill 4 had at least a subplot about the character having some repressed memory or guilt about something. Whether it be, mommy and daddy didn't love me in Origins, to I accidentally murdered my younger brother in Homecoming, to, the Silent Hill Shattered Memories being a sort of kind of wannabe remake of this game, where Harry's daughter feels guilty because Harry actually died in the car crash.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so that one is off of the bad ending?
Yeah, kind of. The Silent Hill Shattered Memories is kind of a sequel to the bad ending of the first Silent Hill. You can look at it that way.
That's an interesting take on it. So, and then 2 is like a sequel to just like the regular good ending, or the good plus ending.
Well, 2 honestly is not a sequel at all. Like 2 is just a completely standalone independent game.
Well, yeah, standalone, but I mean, it kind of like, you could say that it follows along
Silent Hill 2 makes very few, if any, references to the first Silent Hill game, like other than just the location. In fact, the parts of town that you go to in Silent Hill 2 it's a completely different part of the town on like the other side of the lake. So you're not even going to the same locations.
So you're going to Lake Silent Hill.
Just hanging up on the fucking wall right there.
I mean, Silent Hill 2 could have been its own new IP. Now, it still does a lot of world building things. Like the Silent Hill 2 still has a lot of backstory information about the cult and the town and its history.
Harry.
Oh, yeah, we found
How did you get back here?
Yay!
I teleported.
Yeah. But anyway, Silent Hill 1, Silent Hill 3, and Silent Hill 4 are very much about occultism and not about characters with repressed memories or guilt.
You were worried. Where did you disappear to? Never mind. I want to know what's going on here.
I think Harry wants to know what's going on
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, we're all kind of in the same boat,
This may
literally.
sound really off the wall, but listen to me. You've
Crazy
got to
drug
leave.
stuff
And
happening.
this is actually a key bit of dialogue about how the other world works as well. So in this
To the bloody fucking
I
point.
was
in
losing
this
my mind.
cutscene,
Okay, we get it. You think this is a crazy
Harry
theory.
is going to specifically say that when he first went into the other world, he felt like he was going into a new place, and that now, as he's done it more, he feels that
That's not vague.
the world is being invaded by the other world, which also implies that
Little by little,
the world is
information
being
spreading.
changed in real time
Around
To
them.
swallow
around him,
everything in
right?
darkness.
It's someone's nightmarish
I'm finally
delusions
beginning
come to
understand
life.
what that
He's
lady
not
was
talking about we're going into someone else's nightmarish delusions.
Their nightmares are coming to us.
Right, yes. And I think this is a big point
I don't
Okay, what-
understand
in
it
defense
all
of singular
myself.
dimensions.
I guess I can't explain it.
Well, what's making this happen?
The
don't know
fucking
that either.
cult.
The drugs.
One that the lady
Cheryl
told
was
you
there.
about.
There?
Under
There.
whoever created this darkness. Cheryl is somewhere and she needs my help.
Oh, blah, 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 Harry. You and your
Harry.
daughter.
This whole thing's been a major blow to you. You need to rest.
Yeah, because
So,
sleeping is really a fucking option.
The demon is awakening, spreading those wings.
I suddenly just got here.
Hey, it's Ducklips with the tie.
Was it
That is a good tie, lady.
Has she always had the tie?
Yeah, I don't know if that's a tie or a scarf or what the hell that is, but
hungry for sacrifice?
the characters in these games
Will
have
swallow
odd
the
fashion
land.
senses.
I knew this day would come.
But nobody
I'm
listened to me.
kind of leaning on it being a tie because then it just makes her look
It-
more like a crazy person.
It does look like a necktie, like a really, really, really thick necktie.
It's a real-
seal this
being
town to the abyss,
wrapped
the
really
mark
loose.
of
Yeah.
Samayan.
But it could also be like some kind of scarf or what's it called, an ascot? Ascot?
Ascot, yeah.
Hey.
Even
Could
in
be something like
daytime,
that, too. I don't
darkness
know.
will cover the sun.
Ascot is the thing that Freddy wore
The
in
dead will
Scooby Doo.
walk and martyrs
Yeah, it's
will
like a poofy
burn
thing
in
around
the
your neck,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
fires of
It doesn't look like that's an ascot that Dolly is wearing. It looks like it's a tie
It
or a
looks like
scarf.
it's a
but-
tie.
So what am I supposed to do? I've got to save Cheryl.
We've got to save our own ass, Harry.
It is simple. Stop the demon.
Yeah, just stop
Oh,
it.
yeah.
The
That's
demon
so
taking that
simple.
child's form. Stop it before your daughter becomes a sacrifice.
Oh, okay, that's a
Before it
bit
is
more
too late.
powerful of a motive for him, I think.
Stop
Probably.
it.
I don't know. Saving the world from demons is also a pretty decent incentive.
What do I do?
I'm going to save my daughter, and if I accidentally happen to save the world, I
Yeah,
mean,
whatever. It'll be, bonus.
Yeah.
The amusement park.
I mean, we were just gonna blow the world up anyway,
Okay.
so.
Taste. You are the only hope.
What are you?
Look, Harry.
What is he, fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi
I
here?
really don't get what's going on.
Is she
If there's
supposed
a
to be
chance I
Leia
can
then?
Save your daughter? I'm in. I'll check
Yeah,
out the
fuck the
amusement-
town.
You go to the lighthouse.
Sybil, thanks.
She's a civil servant.
You said that already, Jamie.
Oh
I
boy.
know, but it's still funny.
You will
Jamie
need to
puns.
use it.
Use what?
The flowers. Only
The
with them
flowers.
can you stop it.
What about Sybil?
Why did it show us a door?
Because that was the door that Sybil walked out of.
Oh, I see.
All
yeah,
right.
I'm gonna take all this shit. This is mine now.
And then I think maybe we'll go to the lighthouse next time on the branch.
Yeah, sure. We can finish looting the room and then we'll either be there or be heading there. Sounds good. Next time.